What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title today, I'm gonna be a little shallow here. I'm gonna be honest. Again, I don't care how I come off. My job is to give you the best advice, the most honest, realist advice possible, exactly how a man thinks, even if that sounds bad. So, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about why men want to always hook up and have sex before being in a relationship, before committing, right? And this is always a big thing between the sexes because, and I can understand both sides, right? I can totally understand both sides, and I can understand why women want to hold out and not, give the guy the goods, before making a pact or before committing, for the guy committing into a relationship. I could totally understand that, right? If you look at it from several different ways, for example, you can look at it from social standards or her standards, like what she probably got from society or her family or something like that. She doesn't want to put out early. It makes her feel slut shaming, or it makes her feel why do I always throw up the damn quotations? Always, in all my videos, but it makes her feel like it makes her feel dirty. It makes her feel like social societies make. And again, you might not give a shit what society thinks, but I know a lot of women still feel ashamed sometimes when they're putting out and the guy, too early or something like that. They start questioning themselves. They're like, and they feel like shit. Women tell me it all the time. And some guys are the same way, actually. I remember when I was going through my little streak after a breakup, I was like, I felt disgusting. I was like, oh God, I didn't want to touch myself, literally and figuratively, right? But I can totally understand why women don't want to do it. If you look at it from, not only a societal point of view, but if you look at it from an evolutionary perspective, why would a woman put out to and give a man all her power, her leverage and stuff like that when he's not going to commit? You got to remember, a woman wanted a guy who had resources and protection, security and stuff like that during, because like if the guy went out to gather food and you didn't come, and he got you pregnant, he didn't come back, you're screwed. You not only are you vulnerable because you have 9 months with that kid, you have to find a way to rate. Now it's different, of course, nowadays because we have birth control, so we can sleep with whoever we want. We have our women are just as capable as men in any category pretty much nowadays. You don't really need a man for anything, but you don't even need a man to have a kid anymore. Like it's unbelievable the technology we have nowadays. But if a man went out, he didn't come back, you're vulnerable. You have a kid to raise, you have a kid to protect. How are you going to get food and raise that kid at the same time, right? Like how are you going to do all these things but still show the amount of nurturing and love and care for this kid when the guy just scramps? So from like your lizard brain subconscious, deep down, thought process, I totally understand why a woman does not want to put out for a man too early. I totally understand. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about why men want to have sex before getting into a relationship. And again, this is going to sound pretty shallow, but it's 100% true. For I say a lot of men, I'll say for about 95% of men out there, this is true. And it's insurance purposes. I hate to say it like that, but again, don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm telling you what men tell me. I'm telling you what I think sometimes. Again, don't kill the messenger. I'm sorry. But a lot of men think of it as, why would I buy this car if I can't see what's under the trunk? And like he doesn't want to invest in a woman who might or it's not even visually, it's psychologically. Like what if it's like if you got married to someone and then they stop having sex with you? I know you married them for love, but you got yourself in quite a pickle, because if your wife or husband stops having sex, you're going to stop having sex. It's simple as that, right? And so men want to look out for these kind of things. But not only that, a lot of women, I would say almost every woman, even though you don't think you're a lot different after sex. A lot of women are different after sex, and guys want to see that. Guys want to see the other side, the vulnerable side of you, because you're a totally different person when you open up and you're vulnerable, okay? So when you guys are laying down there and you're making your love, I don't know what this is, my love dance with my other hand. I'm not just one-handed here. I don't one-hand a woman, but that's me holding her head too. I don't know. It's not like me throwing a cape over. It's me actually holding her head, right? But I'll show you those techniques later. But when you are, after sex, you're vulnerable. Your hormones are raging. You have different things and chemical reactions going on in or biological things going on in your body. You're a totally different woman. And a lot of the times, this is where the women get, and it's not your fault. And I don't mean this in a bad way. This is just how some guys say it. I'm not gonna throw the quotations. You get clingy. You see my clingy. I'm throwing quotations with my eyebrows right there. Some women get clingy, some women get really needy, some women get too mushy. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I personally don't mind it. I like the cuddles after sex. I personally do not mind it. But some guys kind of want to keep their distance. And again, you can't get mad at the guy for that. Like, let's say you're even in a relationship and he kind of doesn't want to cuddle, or he kind of wants to break away from sex. Again, it's a testosterone thing. A man's testosterone lowers after sex, and he kind of just wants to distance himself because he just feels different, right? He doesn't feel as masculine. He feels more vulnerable after it. And again, there's nothing wrong with vulnerability. That's just how some men are. So it's basically insurance purposes. He wants to see and feel and just go with the flow and see how things are before you get in a relationship. Because again, if he says, sure, I'll get in a relationship with you and then we'll have sex, right? Not that, let's say he's not doing it for the relationship, right? Or for the sex. Let's say he just likes you and he wants to get in a relationship. That's all good on paper. Oh my God, my hands. That's all good on paper. I want to do it so bad. I want those quotations up. That's good on paper, but it's not good in real life scenarios. I can say that kind of stuff, but then you'll get mad at me if I leave you because of ABC, XYZ, like things that happen after sex. And again, I know I said I'm dating you because I actually like you, but those things are hard to ignore, right? It's hard to date someone for who they are, but then they become a completely different person after certain activities. And if let's say I didn't like the clingy woman, it's really hard to have sex with a woman and then all she wants to do is just cling and hold on to you and become very needy. I'm not saying that's how women are. I'm not saying that's how you are, but that's how men think. Don't kill the messenger. That's just how men think, okay? So that being said, sadly, it's for insurance purposes. He wants to see what's under the trunk before he buys the car. He wants to see how a woman reacts to sex before he actually commits. It's actually not that much different if you think about it. Like, you're not going to put out because you want the guy's resources, and at the same time the guy's not going to is not going to commit, okay, because he wants to see how you are otherwise, okay? It's actually, I feel like it's a lot of the same thing. But it goes back to that argument I always make. I think I made it in my last video, which was why do men lie? It's the logic versus moral aspect. Like, men are more logical. And again, I can understand why men think this. He thinks, why would I commit to a woman when I don't know what I'm committing to? Because even though you might not think sex is important, which I'm sure a lot of you think it is, but I'm just saying, for the person who says sex is the most important thing on the list, for men, it's the top 3, top 4, okay? So I'm sorry to say that. I'm making men sound real shallow because men love there's nothing better than a woman with a great personality, who makes you want to better yourself as a person, who makes you want to push forward, who's there through thick and thin. There's literally nothing better than that. But like in the top 5, I'll say top 5. No, I'll say top 3. That's how big it is. I'll say number 3 is sex to men, right? And especially in the beginning, but men love nothing more than a woman who knows how to commit, and she's a good communicator. She knows how to listen. She's loving, caring. She makes you want to be a better man. That's absolutely the best trait. But again, it's logic versus moral. A man thinks, why would I do this if I don't? Like, it's like, why would you invest in a stock when you don't know how that stock performs. If you don't know, that's a good way to look at it, actually. If you don't know how that stock performs, why would you invest in it? Why would you, if you don't have the papers to, or the history of the stock, there's no way, there's no reason for you to do it. That's a high risk stock right there. That's a high risk. You have no idea how it operates. But at the same time, women, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with a lot of them. I agree completely with women. Morally, like, why would you put yourself out there if you don't know? Again, the guy's a stock. If you don't know how the guy's going to be, how he's going to act, you don't know if he's going to hit and quit it, which again is a big I guess factor for why women don't want to put out. It's like, why would I give you my goods, my means, all this going up over here, if you're going to just leave? And I don't know if you're going to or not. It's like, you have to show me that you deserve it. And I completely understand that. I think this is always going to be a problem between the sexes unless there's really good communication between the two, which I think is the best thing overall. But that being said, I love you guys. I'm sorry. Don't kill the messenger. This is not my fault. This is just how men think. They're very logical. They're very straight to the point. They're very brutal. With that being said, I love you guys. Peace.